Warning. The program you're about to watch contains explicit language and descriptions of adult themes and graphic violence that people may find disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Soundstripe. Soundstripe.
Armageddon Z Part 2. 9 months had passed since everything fell apart. For the last 2, Anna had been searching for Neo, refusing to believe he was gone. Today, fate finally intervened. The sky is barely dawn, the sun peeking on the horizon, the sky painted in yellow, orange, red, black, and a hint of blue. Neo was out scavenging for supplies when the infected struck. The creature came from nowhere, knocking him to the ground. He struggled beneath its weight, muscles straining as it snapped its blood-stained jaws inches from his face. His strength was fading. Then bang! A single gunshot shattered the silence. The creature's body went limp, collapsing on top of him. Neo shoved it off, gasping. More of them were coming. The sound of gunfire cut through the air, precise, calculated shots. A dark figure moved through the chaos, taking down the remaining monsters with deadly efficiency. A few well-placed kicks finished off the last of them. Neo groaned as he tried to get up. A gloved hand reached out. He doesn't hesitate taking it. His mysterious savior pulled him to his feet. Before he could even say thank you, the figure all in black in tactical gear removed their biohazard mask. Long, platinum blonde hair spilled over her shoulders. She tossed it back with effortless grace, running her fingers through her hair. Then she spoke. Neo. Neo's breath caught in his throat. The voice was familiar, but the woman before him, confident, composed, felt like a stranger. Anna, he whispered, squinting his eyes to focus on her. She had changed so much. Anna takes him to their base, headquarters. Back at the survivor base, Neo was escorted through a series of corridors before being led to a stark, windowless room. 2 chairs, 1 table. Neo waited in the room, already seated. A man pops in the room. Agent Faith will see you now. Then he exits. Neo sat, waiting. Moments later, the door opened. Anna entered with a mission in her steps. Her hair was neatly tied into a bun, her posture straight, her expression unreadable. She moved with the kind of authority he had never seen in her before. Neo raised an eyebrow. Agent Faith, huh? Yes, she answered simply. He smirked, glancing down. No high heels? Anna sucked her teeth and rolled her eyes. She was different, stronger, sharper. The timid woman he had once known, the one who had needed saving, was gone. Neo leaned forward, lacing his fingers together. Tell me, what have you been doing for the last 9 months? Anna's story. Anna took a slow breath. When the second helicopter came for extraction, they couldn't find you. They circled the building 3 times, but there was no sign of you. Eventually, they called off the search. Her gaze darkened. When the pilot returned without you, I demanded answers. I asked if they saw your body. They said no, just monsters. For days, I begged them to go back, but I was just a civilian, not important enough to make them listen. She clenched her fists. So I asked what I had to do to command my own search team. The answer was simple: become a pilot or an agent. That day, I made my decision. Her voice was steady, but Neo could hear the fire behind it. I trained for 7 months. It was brutal, blood, sweat, and tears. There were days I wanted to quit, but the thought of you wandering alone kept me going. I became an agent, searching for survivors, hoping that one day I'd find you. She exhaled slowly. And now here you are. She leaned forward. Now it's your turn. Where have you been? Neo's story. Neo let out a slow breath. When you guys left me, the rooftop was swarming with infected. I fired at them until my machine gun ran empty. When I ran out of bullets, I threw a grenade. It took out most of them. He let out a dry chuckle. Then I realized I only had 3 pistol rounds left. I took down 2 more. The last bullet, I aimed at myself. Anna's expression remained unreadable, but she didn't look away. But then I saw an opening, a hole where the grenade had blown part of the rooftop apart. I jumped through it. The monsters followed. I ran, found shelter in an abandoned house, and barricaded myself inside. He shook his head. I waited for what felt like forever. Then I heard the helicopter. My heart was racing. I tried to sneak back to the extraction point, but they spotted me. He exhaled sharply. I ran, tried to shake them, but they were relentless. I found myself trapped in another building, and that's when I heard the helicopter leaving. Silence stretched between them. Anna studied him carefully, arms crossed. I heard helicopters flying around during the first few months, he continued. I tried to signal them, but I was always outnumbered. I had to lay low. I had been surviving on my own. My last supply run, that's when you found me. Anna uncrossed her arms. For months, she had searched for him. For months, he had believed he was alone. Now, after everything, they were finally face to face. Anna's eyes softened as she looked at Neo. She could see the weight of his past in his posture, the burden of survival written across his face. Neo, she said finally, her voice steady. I want you to join me in saving the world. Neo leaned back, unimpressed. No thanks. I'm not a hero, I'm a survivor. Saving the world. That's your dream, not mine. Anna exhaled, frustration creeping in. What can I offer you? Money. Neo scoffed. Money's useless in an apocalypse. Anna's tone grew more urgent. I don't care what it takes. I need your help. Neo studied her. From what I saw earlier, you don't need me to protect you anymore. I don't need you, Anna admitted, leaning forward, her arms braced on the table. She inched closer, locking eyes with him. But I want you to fight alongside me. Neo smirked. Are you threatening me or seducing me? Anna rolled her eyes and pushed back from the table. Ugh. She stood up, exasperated. Neo, you're the one person I trust the most. Before he could answer, an agent burst in. Agent Faith, we found lab activity in Ukraine. Chopper leaves in 5. Anna straightened. Great. I'll be there. She turned back to Neo. Think about what I said. Then she walked out, leaving him alone. A moment later, the same man entered. There's someone who wants to see you. Neo stood as a small figure rushed into the room. Daddy. Willow flung herself into his arms. Neo knelt, holding her tight. I missed you, she said. I missed you too, he murmured. You doing okay? Willow nodded. You know, Mommy talks about you all the time. Neo raised an eyebrow. Oh yeah. What does she say? Willow grinned. She says if I ever see Neo again, I'm gonna punch his stupid face. Neo chuckled. Sounds about right. Anything else? Willow's expression softened. She says she misses you too. Every night, she tells me, I wish Neo were here. Neo's smirk faded. You're staying with us, right, Daddy? He hesitated. I'm not sure yet. The man by the door cleared his throat. Time to go, Willow. Before leaving, she turned back, eyes full of wisdom beyond her years. You don't have to be a hero to protect the people you care about. Then she was gone. Neo sat there, stunned. The man held the door open. You're free to leave. Neo didn't move. Then, finally, he asked, when's the next flight to Ukraine? Mission in Ukraine. Anna and her team stood by the open chopper door as the wind howled around them. All right, she briefed them. We're looking for a lab. If you find it, alert the others. And if you see survivors, get them to safety. The team rappelled down. As soon as they touched the ground, movement stirred in the shadows. Contact, someone shouted. Monsters rushed forward. Gunfire cracked through the night as the team fought their way inside the building. Once secured, Anna signaled. Spread out. 1 per floor. She moved cautiously through the darkened hallways, clearing rooms one by one. Then, a sickening crunch. Anna froze, gun raised. She turned the corner. A creature was hunched over a body, feasting. She pulled the trigger. The shot echoed through the building, and suddenly chaos erupted. The sound of running filled the halls. Anna rushes into a room and locks herself in. Anna grabbed her radio. Report status. Static. Then, I'm still here, a voice came through. Same, another answered. Tyler. Ty. Anna called silence. I fear the worst, someone muttered. Don't say that, Anna snapped. We don't know yet. Are you safe? For now. My door is blocked, she said. Same. My path is clear, another member reported. All right, get us out of here, Anna ordered. Roger that. As the member tried to rescue Anna, the radio crackled again down the hall. The rescuer turned around. Gun pointed up. Tyler. The voice echoed down the hall. The rescuer hesitated, debating whether to fire or not. Tyler stood there, his skin pale, his eyes vacant. He was infected. Ty. Before the rescuer can react, Tyler lunged and attacked. Screams tore through the radio. Anna clenched her jaw. That didn't sound good, the last remaining teammate whispered. Don't lose hope, Anna said. She was our rescuer. He shouted into the radio. Anna was running out of options. Tell me what you can see. Anna radios in. I see a vent, but it's too small for an adult. The member responded back. Then, a distant sound. Do you hear that? Anna questioned. Yes. The other member replied. A helicopter. The member says over the radio. Neo's arrival. Back at HQ, a soldier handed Neo his mission brief. Chopper leaves in 20. Gear up at the armory. Neo grabbed only the essentials, 2 handguns, a machete, a combat knife, ammo, and a grenade. You packed light, the soldier noted. I like to move fast, Neo replied. The helicopter lifted off, slicing through the air. This is the site, the pilot said. Neo jumped out. He rushed towards the entrance. The helicopter peeled away. The entrance was locked. Of course, Neo muttered. He circled around the back. He climbed the fire escape and shot the lock off the door. The gunshot drew attention. Monsters in the building turned toward the sound. Neo sprinted inside, taking them out with precise shots. Down the hall, Anna heard the gunfire. She flung her door open, gun raised. Neo aimed at her. Recognition settled. They lowered their weapons. Neo. Anna. She exhaled. I have to get my teammate, or we could leave him. Neo suggested. Never, Anna snapped. They moved in formation, cautiously sweeping the area. What changed your mind? She asked. Your daughter. Willow. Anna asked. Neo nodded. Uh-huh. They reached the barricaded door, where the other member is trapped. The monsters surrounding it. Anna and Neo quickly hide on each side of the wall looking into the hallway. They exchanged a look. Then, gunfire roared into action. They shoot and battle the zombies in a unison formation covering each other's attacks. Neo cut through the creatures with his machete, Anna covering him. Neo stabs a zombie with his machete and left it stuck inside. The last shot rang out. The last zombie thudding to the ground. The door creaked open. Luther. Anna shouted in excitement. Luther glanced at the bodies. Impressive. We still need to find that lab, Anna said. They moved quickly, finding it on the 3rd floor. Inside, Luther hacked into a computer while Neo slowly walked around examining test tubes. What the hell is this? Neo muttered. Don't touch anything, Anna warned. Is that an order? Neo joked. Yes. Anna said. Good thing I don't work for you, Neo said. Annoyed, Anna goes off. This is important. It could tell us how it started. Better yet, how to end this crisis. Neo brushes Anna's remark. Is she telling you or me? Neo asked Luther. This sets Anna off. If you're not going to help, go stand guard. Anna demands. I don't work for you, Agent Faith. Neo mocks her. Anna huffed, her voice dripping with annoyance. You're impossible. Neo huffed, crossing his arms. You're a damsel, Neo teased. She gasped. You take that back. Never, Neo said smugly. Neo. Anna shot him a glare. Why did you have to go there? Their bickering escalated, voices overlapping, neither willing to back down. Luther sighed and finally interjected. Hey guys. At the same time, Neo and Anna snapped. What? Luther raised an eyebrow. Has anyone told you? You guys fight like husband and wife. Yes, they both blurted in perfect unison. Both shocked at the unison. A brief silence followed. Anna folded her arms tighter, narrowing her eyes at Neo with suspicion. He returned the look, his eyes narrowing in an intense stare-off. Luther, unfazed, pulled a file onto the computer. Here. Anna and Neo tore their gazes away from each other as Luther continued. It's not a virus, it's a parasite. A slug, Leucochloridium paradoxum, also known as the green-banded broodsac. He clicked a few keys on the keyboard, pulling up images on the monitor. These slugs deliberately get eaten, take over the host's mind, and mimic bugs to spread. They control their host's behavior, ensuring they get consumed again. That's how they reproduce. Anna grimaced. That's disgusting. Normally, it doesn't affect humans, Luther went on, but maybe it's evolved, or maybe some scientist tampered with its genetic makeup. Anna frowned. Okay, so how did it get to humans? Luther tapped a few more keys. From Japan. It was meant to be a delicacy, like sushi or sashimi. Anna straightened. Okay, we need to get to Japan. Neo scoffed. For what? It's ground zero, Anna said. That doesn't mean anything. We just need a way to get rid of the parasite, Neo countered. A cure or a vaccine would be a better idea, he added. Anna exhaled sharply. I'm not doing this with you right now, Neo. She turned toward the door. We need to get back to headquarters. Neo opened his mouth. If I may. No, you may not. Anna snapped and stormed off. Neo watched her go, jaw tightening. Luther chuckled beside him. How can you work with her? Neo muttered. Luther smirked. That's your wife. Neo's breath caught. His gaze flickered toward Anna's retreating figure, his voice lowering as he mumbled. We're just Con. V. Luther simply walked past him, leaving Neo to his thoughts. When they leave the lab, down the hall stood a zombie facing them. Tyler? Anna questioned. Tyler charges towards them with a primal rage. Anna points her gun at him but hesitates. Neo from the back shoots him. Anna startles a bit, shutting her eyes for a brief moment. That was Tyler, she whispered. Not anymore, Neo said. As they turned to leave, a horde surged up the stairs. Anna grabbed her radio. HQ, we need extraction. Now. Roger, ETA 10 minutes, the radio crackled. Neo shoved open the fire exit. Anna and Luther followed, but as Luther stepped through, something latched onto his leg. A hand. He looked down. Tiffany. Her face was twisted in hunger, her eyes empty. She lunged, teeth bared. Luther fired. The shot echoed. Tiffany collapsed. No time to grieve. The infected surged forward, drawn by the noise. They ran. Down the stairs, past overturned furniture and blood-smeared walls. Reaching the second floor, they skidded to a stop. Another horde rushed toward them from the opposite end. Trapped. What now? Anna asked, eyes darting between the advancing threats. We jump, Neo said. Anna didn't hesitate. She vaulted over the railing, tucking into a roll as she hit the ground. Neo followed, landing with ease. Luther peered over the edge. You guys are out of your damn minds. Instead, he bolted for the ladder, clambering down as fast as he could. Anna and Neo covered him, firing as the infected tumbled from the upper floors. Neo smirked. Very cool. You like that? Anna asked. I loved that. Luther hit the ground, breathless. Okay, let's go. The roar of a helicopter filled the air. They sprinted for it, bullets ripping through the infected in their path. As the chopper lifted off, Luther exhaled sharply. Anna. I had to shoot Tiffany. Anna met his gaze, her voice steady. I figured. A beat of silence. Stay back from the next mission, she said. I can't lose anyone else. You sure? Luther questioned. That's an order. Anna commands. Luther hesitated, then saluted. Yes, ma'am. Anna turned to the radio. Agent Faith to HQ. Patch me through to the captain now. The captain barely looked up as Anna, Neo, and Luther entered his office. Neo and Luther follow Anna inside. Luther, standing at attention behind her, snaps a sharp salute to the captain. Neo, on the other hand, lacks any sense of formalities. He simply stands there, relaxed, adjusting himself without a care. The captain's eyes flicked to Neo, then back to Anna, his expression unreadable. What is it? The captain asked. Anna stepped forward. It's not a virus. It's a parasite. A slug. When consumed, it takes over the host's brain, reducing them to primal instinct. It spreads through ingestion or infected blood contact. The captain leaned back, nodding. And the cure? Neo scoffed. See, I told. Anna raised a hand, silencing him. We believe the origin is in Japan. The captain didn't hesitate. Then go to Japan. Yes, sir. Anna said. Anna strode toward the armory. Neo followed. You're going alone? Yes, she said, not looking up. I've already lost 2 people. I won't lose anyone else. Especially you. Anna shoves a full clip into her handgun. Neo's voice softened. It's not my safety I'm worried about. Anna exhaled. Why don't you ever listen? She stormed off. Neo grabbed extra ammo and followed. A crewman approached. Agent Faith, your chopper is ready. On the rooftop, the rotors spun as Anna and Neo climbed aboard. Let's go, Anna ordered. To Tokyo. As the helicopter lifted off, a voice piped up from the back. Yes, let's go, Luther shouted. Anna startled in her seat and turned her body halfway, looking back. Anna's eyes narrowed at Luther. She turned to Neo. Why does no one listen to me? Neo and Luther looked at each other, then exchanged shrugs. The city was eerily silent. Smoke curled from abandoned buildings. The streets were littered with overturned cars and broken glass. You know where we're going? Neo asked. A restaurant, Anna replied. Neo grinned. Great. I'm starving. Let's make it a date. You weren't invited, Anna said. Neo turned to Luther. You hungry? Luther smirked. For some sashimi. Anna ignored them and pressed on. The boys followed along. They moved quickly, dispatching stray infected as they navigated the ruined city. A towering restaurant loomed ahead, its neon sign flickering. Anna kicked open the door. Inside, the hostess and kitchen staff were already turned. They fell in a hail of bullets. She moved with purpose, heading straight for the chef's office. Anna pulls the trigger, the gunshot echoing through the room as the man drops instantly. She barely spares him a glance before turning her attention to the cluttered desk, where a thick binder sits among scattered papers. Flipping through the pages, she scans each one rapidly, until she stops. There, she exclaims, snapping a quick picture with her phone. Neo steps closer, peering over her shoulder. What's there? Anna doesn't look up. I think this is the last time they purchased the slugs. Her fingers move swiftly across her phone screen, typing something in. Luther frowns. What are you doing? Trying to translate, Anna replies. She glances at him. Do you know Japanese? Luther shakes his head. Both of them turn to Neo expectantly. He scoffs. Oh, come on. You guys are prejudiced. Just because I'm Asian. Before they can respond, Anna's phone beeps. She reads the translation aloud. The slug was purchased in North America. That's where we're going, Anna said. A monstrous growl filled the air. The zombies must have heard the gunshots earlier. They sprinted into the kitchen. An infected chef grabbed Luther. Neo reacted fast, grabbing a knife and slashing through the creature's hand, then its throat. Sashimi, Neo quipped. Luther groaned. I hate you. They reach outside. Luther shuts the door and locks it. Pounding can be heard from the other side. Anna surveys the area, eyes darting to the best path forward. Looks like we have to circle around to get to the chopper, she says. She holsters her gun, takes a few steps back, then sprints forward. With a practiced leap, she grabs the edge, pulls herself up, and climbs over with ease. Luther watches, then turns to Neo. Can you do that? Neo doesn't answer, he just runs. Jumps, and climbs over effortlessly. Luther mutters to himself. Of course he can, he's Asian. Taking a deep breath, Luther follows suit, but he's slower, more careful. As he reaches the top, his foot slips. He loses his balance and crashes to the ground with a loud thud, sending debris scattering. Groaning, he pushes himself up and pats the dust off his clothes. I'm okay, Luther says. A low growl sounds in the distance. Then another. The noise has drawn attention. Anna doesn't hesitate. Time to go. They break into a sprint toward the helicopter, a swarm of monsters closing in behind them. Travis, we're coming back. Start it up. Anna gives the order through her radio. Anna reaches the helicopter first and spun around with cover fire. Luther climbed in. Neo pulled a grenade from his belt. Oh, right. He tossed it. The helicopter lifted off. Neo sprinted, leaped, grabbing onto the landing skids as the grenade exploded below. Anna and Luther hauled him in. They collapsed into their seats, breathless. Next stop, North America, Anna said. The helicopter touched down on a food factory rooftop. They moved swiftly, entering through a fire escape. Inside, infected lurked in droves. One screeched. The horde charged. Here we go again, Luther muttered. They opened fire, thinning the mass. Somewhere nearby, a voice called for help. Anna turned. Survivor. They found a man trapped under debris. His torn lab coat read Richard. Neo and Anna pulled him free. Thank you, Richard gasped. Anna steadied him. Why were you trapped? Neo rolled his eyes. Obviously, because of the monsters. Luther sighed. Oh boy. Anna glared at Neo. Why do you always interrupt? Because that was a dumb question, Neo shot back. I'd ask why he's here. Same difference. No, it's not. As they bickered, Richard turned to Luther. Are they married? Luther smirked. Nope. They sure fight like it. Richard coughed. If you two are done, I assume you want to know why I'm here. Neo and Anna replied in unison. Yes. Richard took a deep breath. I came to collect a sample of the slug. Anna's expression hardened. The scientist hesitated. For what purpose? Anna questioned. I think I've found a cure for these monsters, he said. All of their eyes widened. Really? Anna asked. Yes. I've been researching ever since the outbreak. If we inject this serum, it will attack the slug and dissolve it. The scientist's voice was steady, but his eyes betrayed something else. But it hasn't been tested on humans yet. I ran the analysis a couple of times. It has a 70% success rate. Anna's expression hardened. Great. We need to bring you back to headquarters so you can duplicate more. No, Richard said. Before anyone could react, the scientist grabbed Luther's pistol, shoving him back as he pointed the weapon at them. Anna placed her hand over her holster by her hip. Richard points the gun at Anna. Anna freezes. Don't be stupid, Richard shouted. Neo tensed, inching forward, but the scientist was too far to reach in time. Don't move. The gun shifted toward Neo. A smirk crept across the scientist's face. With this serum, I control the marketplace. I will be the richest man alive. I can control the world. Anna narrowed her eyes. The world is half dead. Money is useless in this apocalypse. Anna uses Neo's line. You're wrong. There are always buyers. Richard smirks. Backing up, the scientist reached the door, slammed it shut, and locked it from the other side. Anna lunged, pounding against the metal. Damn him, she screamed. Luther sighed, shaking his head. What an asshole. Neo exhaled sharply. Who cares? Let him go. We don't need to save the world. At least we're alive. Anna whirled around. Then why are you even here? Neo met her glare, but said nothing. Why are you here if you don't care about the world? She demanded. Neo hesitated. Say it. Neo. Anna stepped closer, her voice rising. Tell me why. You never cared. About anything but your own survival. So why? Neo clenched his jaw. You're right, he finally snapped. I don't give a damn about this world. I care about you. Okay. His voice cracked. Anna froze. I would have given up the world for you. Neo continued, softer this time. But the world is already doomed. I didn't know what else to offer you. Silence stretched between them. Anna's tone shifted. Why didn't you tell me earlier? Neo looked away. Because you're the one person I didn't want to be rejected by. Anna exhaled sharply, half in disbelief. You're so dumb. Neo confused. What? I've always liked you, idiot. That's why I searched for you. That's why I asked you to join my missions. I wanted to fight alongside you, but your cold attitude made you blind. Neo stared at her, stunned. He slowly walks away into a corner of the room. He sat down processing what had been said. Luther cleared his throat. Are you guys done? Shut up, Anna quickly countered, still looking at the floor. Luther pointed behind him. Right, I'll just go. Silence settled again. After a few minutes, Neo stood. All right, let's get out of here. Anna shot up from her position. What? Why? Neo met her gaze. I do care about you. I won't do it for the world, but I'll do it for you. Let's go get that serum. A slow smile tugged at Anna's lips. Luther, grinning, jumped to his feet. Are we leaving? Neo didn't answer. Instead, he pulled out his gun and fired at a wall. Anna quickly followed suit. The structure weakened under the barrage of bullets. With one final kick, the wall collapsed, opening a path outside. The distant sound of snarls and screeches sent a chill down Anna's spine. The noise attracted them, Luther muttered. Time to go, Neo said. They bolted, racing toward the nearest building. As they slammed the door shut behind them, Anna grabbed her radio. Headquarters, do you copy? Copy, the radio crackled. We found the serum, but it's on the move. We need pickup. Roger that. Send coordinates. Anna quickly punched them in. Got it, the voice confirmed. ETA, 15 minutes. Anna looked up. We need to be on the roof in 15. I heard what you said, Neo confirms. Neo reloaded his weapon. Then let's move. Neo met her gaze. We climb up, break in, and get to the roof. She nodded. No hesitation. As the chopper descends to pick them up, Anna grabs Neo's hands. They both turn to look at each other. Thank you, Anna said. Don't thank me yet. We still have to get the serum. Neo smiled at Anna. The chopper hovered just above them. As they bored inside. Where to? The pilot asked over the radio. Anna's mind was already ahead. Can you trace Travis's last known location? Yes, ma'am, the pilot confirmed. That's where we need to be. Roger that. The helicopter cut through the sky, guided by the coordinates. Below, wreckage came into view. There it is, Travis's helicopter, the pilot reported. I can't land, but I can lower you down. You'll have to jump. Anna turned to Luther. Stay on the chopper to cover us. Luther nodded. Yes, ma'am. She turned to the cockpit. Be ready for a fast exit. Roger that. Without another word, Anna and Neo leaped from the chopper, landing in a crouch. Anna sprinted to the wreckage and yanked the door open, only to stumble back as Travis's body slumped forward. A bullet wound to the head. Anna clenched her jaw. That bastard is going to pay. Neo placed a steadying hand on her shoulder. There was no time to grieve. They had to move. One target remained. Richard. Inside the abandoned building, the silence was suffocating. Anna and Neo moved cautiously, their weapons drawn. A gunshot shattered the stillness. Neo reacted instantly, tackling Anna to the ground as bullets tore through the air. They rolled behind debris, catching sight of their attacker. "Richard," Anna yelled out. "You'll never get my serum," he shouted. Behind him, a reinforced glass wall separated them from dozens of snarling creatures. Before either of them could act, Richard fired at the glass. A web of cracks spread across the surface. Then the window shattered. The creatures swarmed in. "I'll distract them." "You get Richard," Neo said. Anna nodded in agreement. "Go," Anna shouted. Neo opened fire on the monsters. They turned toward him. Neo took off, sprinting toward the stairwell. The creatures shrieked and followed, hundreds of them closing in. He ascended fast, his feet pounding against the metal steps. He burst onto the rooftop. No escape, just a long stretch of connected buildings. He ran. Jumping rooftop to rooftop, he moved fast, pushing his body to the limit. The distant thump-thump-thump of helicopter blades grew louder. Then, the Gatling gun roared to life. Luther rained down cover fire, tearing through the horde. Neo spotted a gas tank up ahead. An idea formed. He sprinted past it. Luther understood immediately. Boom! The explosion engulfed the creatures in a fireball. Neo turned back, giving Luther a thumbs up. Luther smirked and returned the gesture. Neo finished off the stragglers. Gunshots. A few well-placed kicks. Then silence. Now it was up to Anna. Anna moved carefully through the lower level. Richard was cornered. They exchanged fire, each ducking behind cover. She studied his movements. He was tracking her every step, his grip on the gun steady. She needed to throw him off. Anna runs across, hiding behind debris. Richard follows her movements, with each shot only hitting the objects in front of her. With a quick thought, Anna ripped off her shirt, leaving only her tank top. She balled up the fabric and threw it towards the direction where Richard assumed Anna would be running to. Richard fired instantly, as he saw the blur of her clothes. A mistake. Anna popped out, aimed, and shot his gun clean out of his hands. Richard cursed, lunging for the fallen weapon. Anna rushes towards the fallen gun. She steps on it, preventing Richard from grabbing his gun. She kicked it away, then kicked his face. Richard backs up from the impact. He manages to kneel back up. Anna takes aim at Richard. Richard holds up the suitcase of serum to shield himself. Knowing Anna will not fire, risking to destroy the serum, Anna looked for an open shot. When she couldn't find a clean target, Anna then decides to kick the suitcase away from Richard's grip. She tucks her gun into her holster. His desperation turned into rage. He swung at her. She blocked, grappled, twisted his arm, snap. A scream tore from Richard's throat. Anna didn't let up. An elbow to his jaw, to shut him up, followed by a rapid series of punches to his face. Richard staggered, blood dripping from his mouth. Before Richard can catch his balance, one final sidekick sent him crashing into objects, then he falls to the ground. Anna stepped forward and grabbed the suitcase. Richard, broken and bleeding, forced himself to sit up. "Saving people won't make you a hero," he rasped. "It'll get you killed." Anna paused. Then, without looking back, she said, "I'll take my chances." And she walked away, sparing Richard's life. Neo and Anna regrouped. The helicopter arrived, and they climbed aboard. As they lifted off, Anna exhaled deeply. The weight of exhaustion settled in. She undid her ponytail. She shakes her head lightly, letting it fall freely around her shoulders. Bruised, bloodied, but alive, she leaned against Neo. Without hesitation, he reached for her hand, fingers intertwining. They flew back to headquarters. The moment they landed, Anna hands over the suitcase to her colleague for further analysis. Then a small voice pierced through the air. "Mommy, Daddy." Willow came sprinting toward them. Anna and Neo dropped to their knees, pulling her into a fierce group hug. As they stood, Neo turned to Anna. "Maybe someday we can be a real family," he said softly. Anna's eyes widened. "You mean it?" Neo smirked. "Only if you propose to me first." Neo half joking. "Luther," she called. Luther, who had been walking away, stopped and turned. "I need you as a witness." Luther turns around and raised an eyebrow but stayed put. Anna took a deep breath and dropped to one knee. She took Neo's hand in hers. "Neo Lore, will you marry me?" Neo looked down at her, stunned for only a moment. Then, a slow smile spread across his face. "Yes, many lifetimes over." He pulled her up, and their lips met in a deep, lingering kiss. Willow clapped, giggling. Luther smirked, shaking his head as he walked away. Some things never changed. End of part 2. To be continued.